It's a lovely, lovely good afternoon to you. This is a radical farmer here at Organic Farm 7. So today I'm going to actually be talking on a subject that I spoke lightly in the morning, but I want to, contextualize it. So it is about, unemployment rate in Africa, specifically Zambia. So I don't know if you have observed that we have so many people that have gone to school, they are educated, even if you went up to grade 12, but they don't have employment, or if they have it, then they don't have a decent job. And others are hoping for for the best, and they are waiting, and others have been applying for jobs and all those things. And I don't know whom you are blaming, and I don't have anyone to blame. But I think it is a personal responsibility that everyone needs to fight their own battles in this world and take full responsibility of their life, number one. So if you're in a situation, you're not sick, you're not dead, you're not lame, you're alive, you're sound, and you call yourself, your mind is working properly, you really have to figure out how to sort out your problems. Okay, so there is no one fighting for anyone. There is no one, who is waking up saying, I'm going to do this for this one. You should understand that everyone wakes up to sort out their own problems. I wake up to sort out my problems. So when you talk about the issues of unemployment, if you're not employed, the one who suffers the most is you who is not employed. And I think there's a root cause that has been neglected for a long time, and it's very simple. So I think one of the contributing factors that has contributed heavily to unemployment is education. For me, education is supposed to be a solution to the problems, but it has also become part of the problem, so it needs to be sorted out. So from my observation, I've been to school. I've been to school for more than 16 years. And in my study at school, it is very clear that our system of education is not designed to address African problems. Our system of education is not designed to address the African situation. It is designed to respond to Western or European, problems. Like, let me give an example. If you have seen how the West do things, when they make an application, they are not making for their local country, they are making for the world to be consumers. When you look at China, when they are making a product, they know that someone somewhere else is going to be actually using it. So then the system of education is there to train you how to use these things. Okay? Let me give an example. So when you go to school to learn about social media, you're not going to learn how to build a social media tool. You're going to learn how to use existing social media tools. You're going to learn how to use Facebook. You're not going to learn how to make a platform like Facebook. No wonder even our economies are very fragile. I remember very, very well that there's a time Facebook and WhatsApp had shut down just for 2 hours, and every business was crying. What am I saying? I love the way China does it. They have built their own platforms which they control. And you see, when you go to school, we don't go to learn how to make systems that we can use or technologies. We go there to learn how to use what is already there. Look at even most of the government, government systems. They are not built by local software engineers. We have to subcontract people from outside the country to build our own systems. And then looking at the equipment industry, like I'll give an example of the machinery that we use in agriculture. We don't go to learn how to use them. We go to learn how to sell them, or if it is using them, we don't use them to their very, 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 core. So one of the major contributors, even people that go to learn farming, they don't learn how to make, breed seed. They don't learn how to if you think they are learning how to breed seed, show me how many, Africans are making seeds, like very seriously. I'm not talking about jokes. if you think that they are learning how to make medication and vaccines, show me someone who is actually pushing it on to the global stage. So it's not the kind of, a small, as much as I appreciate that kind of arrangement, but I'm looking at it from a bigger scale. Why don't we push out agendas where, we get to a point where we build things that can control the world to a certain degree, not just being comfortable by petty, small things. Now, look at how many people Facebook employs. Look at how many people, maybe Ford factories, Tesla employ. It is because we have people that have figured out how they can, learn outside the school system so that they can be able to build things that can actually transform their countries. Just the economy of one tech company in Zambia is actually more powerful than many, countries, their GDP, okay? Now, that doesn't mean we have to undermine administrative education, but the point is, there's limited slots to work in the, administrative white-collar jobs. And everyone is eyeing for the white-collar job. There's no one who wants to be dirty and, create jobs for others, but you have to be dirty to do that. So sometimes I think the majority of our graduates should be applying maybe outside the country, because we haven't yet figured out, many graduates, we haven't yet figured out that, there are skills that work in a developing country and there are skills that work in a developing country. There's a difference between developed and developing. Okay? So, what am I saying? If we are building and learning skills that work effectively in a developed country, it becomes very hard to actually to be useful in a developing country, because in a developing country, the kind of jobs that are available, they are very different from what you find in a developed country. Like when you go to America, most of the things, they are automated. Where, you have to tie with a screwdrivers, their drill guns and all those things. So you find that there are so many equipments that are there. There are so many things, they are very, very advanced in terms of technology. And we cannot be thinking that you can work in Zambia like you're in America and all those things, because the setup here is very different. Now, how do you easily find a job in Zambia or in Africa, especially a developing country? You really have to get to the core. Like, this is one thing that humbled me. I did computer engineering, but I tried to find a job I couldn't, because what I was learning, there were very few companies where I could actually apply those skills, like effectively, like in a full time. You find that a company has got 5 computers, they have 10 computers, and now the question is, what am I going to be doing those computers every day? Okay? And you have people that are just limitedly using just Excel, Word, Internet, that is it. No complicated stuff. You won't have, computers maybe get damaged after years. What job am I going to be doing? But that doesn't mean that right now those things are not there. But I'm just trying to shed light that, there are so many youths that need jobs. And I'll encourage you to actually look around. Don't look very far. Look around and see what needs to be done in our country. If we are going to develop Zambia, we really need people that are educated, but at the same time also they understand other skills that are needed in their mother country. Like, I'll give an example. Most of the bricklayers that are doing construction, they are not educated. Okay? And if you did engineering, you know how to build. You can actually gather those bricklayers, start a construction company. And now you take construction work to the next level. And there is someone who went to school does things differently from someone who did go to school. But someone who didn't go to school and is doing something is far much better than someone who went to school and is doing nothing. Okay? So, if we would have, agriculture people who are willing to develop farms, because the majority of people that graduate from schools of agriculture, what they are looking for is a white-collar job in a seed company, in a fertilizer company, in an agro shop, in the government and all those things. There are few that are willing to get dirty and develop farms, like start a farm from scratch. So we are just like, snakes who want to get into a hole that was dug by a rat and kill the rat there. So we are competing for very, very limited slot when there's vast opportunities out there in so many areas. So what am I saying? You focus on what is not being done. And don't limit yourself, because you see, time is moving, and I can guarantee you, the more you get older, the more frustrated you become if you're doing nothing. If there's one thing that is so frustrating, is actually doing nothing. Because the people will not respect you, and even those that did not go to school start telling you that you and me, the only difference is the paper. Otherwise, your problems are my problems. And that shouldn't be the case. And you see, this doesn't mean that our education is not important, because some of you are very good at misunderstanding. But the point is, the education you get, you should question yourself, how should I use it? And if it's not working, find an education that works, okay? You can learn skills from people that are actually practicing what you want to learn. But as a youth, you need a set of skills, practical skills, that can work effectively in a developing world, in a developing country like Zambia. And most of them, they are hands-on skills, they are, troublesome skills. But we have to be willing to get to our level and start at our level. If you are dreaming of going to America, America was not, it didn't just fall from heaven. The Americans built America. Why are you not building your country? You can't run away from poverty. As an individual, you can go. You do whatsoever you do. But I think sustainably, we have to stay in our countries, develop our countries, build our countries, and take them to the next level. Like, for example, this was once a bush. Farm 7 was once a bush. If someone did not take a step and say, I'm going to develop that place, it wasn't going to be developed. And this is the challenge that I'm posing to you. With your education, what are you doing with it? With the paper that you got, even just, wherever you are working, what value are you bringing to that company? Apart from just claiming a paycheck at the end of the month, ask yourself, what transformation, what value have you really added? Otherwise, I can guarantee you, those that figure out how to sort out this problem, they are going to be enjoying, while others are going to be wallowing in poverty without